Steve, we've got 3 brand new rods in the range. The new Precision FXT.
Yep.
We've got a 10-foot feeder, a 9-foot feeder, and a 10-foot 6 waggler rod.
That's right, yeah.
I know you did quite a bit of testing on these, didn't you, when they first we first got them in?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we had to get the blanks right for a start. I mean, that's the main thing. We've got to go along with the original rods, which were awesome. We're not trying. We're trying to bring something in that's either bettering or on par what we already have. And I think these slot in quite nice.
Well, before we take a closer look at them, the rods come in this lovely bag. I've got the 10-foot feeder here. You just undo the cord. We can see there that you've got your, as well as your rod sections. There's your tips. You've also got a tube for your spare tips.
3 tips in all.
That's it. Three tips in each. All carbon. Because obviously, as we saw in testing, you try and put glass into a tip, it doesn't work.
Performance is just not there.
Yeah, you're going to get that flawless curve. Carbon's the way to go.
That's right.
Right, so let's put this one down, have a little look at the rods. So we've got 3 rods in the range, Steve, a 9-foot feeder, a 10-foot feeder, and a 10-foot 6 waggler.
That's right, yeah.
Let's start with a little 9-footer. Let's have a little look at that one.
9-footer. This particular one is my favourite.
It's a beautiful little rod, isn't
Lovely. Again, we've tried to keep the blanks nice and slim.
Yep.
Obviously with prototypes and things like that, we tried to, we had different ones, and this obviously came back the best. The eyes in them.
SIC guides.
They are.
Yeah, throughout.
We tried different rings, and these ones came back best. We've tried to keep them, like, we didn't want to go too large, but yet we didn't want to go too small. So obviously these new commercial style rods, you have 6 and 8 pound lines, they need to run smoothly.
That's it. Yeah, if you have too tiny an eye, obviously it's going to restrict.
That's right.
The line passing through, isn't it? So you've got a nice little.
Yeah, I mean, this is a quite nice addition to it. For your hookups, I think, which is great. Again, when you're not using the rod, it can be clipped out of the way. It can be just pushed down like that. So again, it can't hinge anything, no line can get caught on it or anything like that. But again, when you come to packing your rod away, or when you come to put it on your side tray, just flick it back out and it's back on there. I think it's quite neat and tidy, and it goes on your rod resters now, as it does.
So you've got the new FMR PBS reels on there.
Yep, that's right.
Very nice indeed. Now the action of the rod itself.
Again, the bend from me, mate.
Yeah.
This is what they're designed to do. That's why we kept the blanks nice and slim. So they actually bend from here. I mean, originally, when the tip goes round and things like that, it's quite sensitive. I mean, you can fish for skimmers and things like that in winter on these. But I have had fish up to 18, 20 pound on these rods, in testing. And that's where I think this little bit comes into action. Obviously, it's nice and soft as your tip goes round, but as you get them here under your rod tip, obviously this little bit here is the bit that powers up. It really powers up. Although it does bend, you can feel it starting to power up.
Now, one thing that we're starting to realise more and more these days, isn't it? The reason we're using different length rods, the action of the rod isn't so much important in the sense of it's the distance we're trying to cast.
That's right.
The difference between a 10 and a 9-foot, for instance.
It's mega. I mean, it's mega. I mean, what we're trying to achieve, and the reason why we're bringing a 9 and a 10-foot, if you wanted anything such as up to 30, up to 30 turns, what we class as, you'd pick this up every single time. But then when all of a sudden, if you're trying to outcast the rod, which is what people try and do,
you're losing accuracy.
You're losing accuracy every single time, and that's where you slightly bigger.
Your 10-foot.
Yeah, your 10-foot rod is. I mean, we did have an original 10-foot before, and we just felt that this would fit in perfect in the new range.
Absolutely, yeah. There was an odd venue, wasn't there, where you just drop in that little bit shorter, that little bit. It's brilliant, ideal. Let's have a look at the 10-footer then.
Again, similar sort of thing. The blanks are slightly bigger on these because obviously we've got that extra foot. We've got a bit different. Again, rod rings the same, exactly the same rod rings. We've got again the nice little hook up there.
They certainly look the part, don't they?
I think we've concentrated on graphics a bit this time because I think it sells the rod as well. As much as you pick up one of these and you just want it instantly.
Yeah.
But I do think that things like these actually look great on the bank.
They've got to look the part these days, of course they have.
Of course they have, and that's what it's all about. But again, I mean, what I do like about these as well is the way that the reel attaches.
Right.
You just unscrew these, nice and simple, and the reel just comes off its seat, just like that. Again, tucks in there, and it can tighten nice and it tightens up nicely, just put it there, and you can just tighten that rod, and it'll never come loose. You know, sometimes some of them come loose, don't they?
Yeah,
whereas
creak and crack and also.
Yeah, these are a nice snug fit. Cork handle, nice snug fit, and I think the reels fit on these seats lovely.
Perfect, brilliant. All right, moving on to the third of the new rods. Let's have a little look at the 10'6" Waggler. Now, in the precision range, we had an 11'6" Waggler.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
has got huge following.
Yeah,
we love those. Why did we bring it down to a 10'6", and why 10'6", not 10 foot?
Well, the reason being is because sometimes on these small little commercials, similar to what I've got today, you're trying to chuck and there's a lot of overhanging things. You know, there's quite a lot of trees and things, and with the 11'6", it was fine when you were having to chuck that bit distance, and also you had a lot of open space around you. Now, one of the advantages of having a shorter rod is being able to just chuck through them, you know, with them overhanging trees and things like that, and you don't have to put too much effort into it. Whereas when you chuck an 11'6", if it's not the required distance that you need to be fishing, you're trying to stop it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas these, you can cast them to the full capacity every single time, and it'll just sink in nice.
Yeah, they'll punch a little, a little waggler beautifully, won't they? Perfect for commercials. And then the other thing we're also noticing a lot these days is we're using smaller and smaller wagglers. These fish are starting to wise up. They're not coming to these big splashes of the big wagglers anymore. So you want to be flicking a little waggler onto a fish's nose to get that quick bite.
That's right.
And that's absolutely perfect for it. And there we've got another flawless curve.
Again, I mean, like I said, all those rods, what we didn't want is something that I do see in quite a lot of rods. We didn't want any blank spots in them.
No, you can't, no, it doesn't work.
No, in my opinion, it doesn't work, mate. You want the rods to bend from here to the end.
Yeah.
But you need them to power up. It's no good having them too soft, that they're just, because you're never going to get a fish under control. You'll be constantly winding and winding, the rod's just bending and bending.
Yeah.
You do need that little bit of power, and that's why we've just upped it a little bit, you know, with the width of the butt sections.
So we've got almost a progressive butt moving into an all-through action.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
Ideal. Right, mate, I'm going to get out of the way and watch you have a chuck.
No problem.
See you in a sec.
Thanks, mate. Really bends from here, so you never have to worry about pulling out a fish and things like that, because that's what normally happens. As you get them to your rod end, this is where you normally pull out the fish. But as I say, because of the bend of the rod and the action of the rod, I've never had any fear of that happening. Just a little comment, nicely just took method.